You will not understand. When you pay the dowry, when you build the house, and when you bought a car, and you provide your monies, and then the same thing, that person does not respect. You will not understand. You will not understand. It is not for nothing that you are the boss of the organization. You are the manager, you are the director, you are the CEO. You give somebody an appointment, and the next day, the person sees you in town and does not greet you. You should not be angry. If you are angry, you have failed to understand that you are living with human beings. You have failed. Why are you angry? Yes, this a master's class. So you don't expect me to say everything. I'll do it like the Madam Basha way. You remember Pastor Otteben? I'll do it that way. I'll start it and then you end. Because it is assumed and presumed that we are all on the same wavelength. You understand? So what is an organization? It's an environment where you are the same over. You are the one saying it, I'm not the one saying it. An environment where people, you didn't say where buildings. I don't know what you're getting. You didn't say buildings. Where people come together to achieve a common goal. Why are we in the same office and you don't like me because I'm in the Bomba? Can we achieve the same goal? Thank you. Why? Did we say that it's an organization where this particular group of people, did we say that? When we come to culture, we say culture is what? A group of people living in a particular location with what? The same identities at a definite geographical what? Location. You see? But we are in an organization, we are not seeing people of the same characteristics. That one is what? Is out. That means there is diversity. Now you want to belong to that organization, but you don't want to accept diversity. Can there be success? Not at all. Not at all. And then you begin to understand that the characteristics of sorry. We say that the characteristics of organizations include what? Social inventions, goal accomplishment, and group what? Effort. Group what? Effort. You see, your husband is trying as a member of the group. Your wife is trying as a member of the group. Your employee, secretary, or security is trying as a member of the group, and you are thwarting the effort of the group. Will there be accomplishment? No. Why can't we all see through the same lens? You don't need to write anything. Just listen to me. I'll give you material. You can't read them. You can't read them. For every lecture, if I give you one lecture, one material, you can't read it. And everything I say, I'll give it. Take it. Yes, I talk too much. So if you are writing, you won't listen. And by the time we finish and I ask you a question, you won't even remember what I said. Don't worry about me. Why? Boss, why? We sit in a meeting in the organization. We say there are social inventions. Social inventions. Coordinated presence of people, not what? Things. Coordinated presence of people, not things. When you are employed, observe the first day, yesterday, when you people came here, what happened? You started grouping into like terms. You remember we did like terms? We started grouping into what? Like terms. Based on certain characteristics. Number one, religion. Number two, tribe. Number two, yes. Why? We say coordinated what? Of people. You see, you had time to see a group formation, but you people can then identify yourself according to your religion, your tribe, and where you are coming from. So immediately it's time for tea. Why are you inviting her and you are not inviting this one? Maybe we stand on the same day. It's because you assume that it's your religious mate. And that is where some of you invite somebody who don't say back with my mama. Not even. Oh, yes. You get it? He's saying that coordinated presence of people, not what? Things. And therefore, we're saying that the flow of organizational behavior is about understanding people and managing them to work what? Effectively. If you don't understand people, you cannot manage them. And that is the reason why research has proven that the major cause of divorce is not about money, it's not about anything, it's about culture. It's culture. It's culture. You can say a way a human being behaves, that's culture. Nothing surprises me if I understand you as a human being. Because we expect too much. True, yes. And that's the reason why when I'm entering the office, you look at me as if I just fell from the sky. Me, I've done nothing wrong. You see me as a threat, right? Me, I have not won you anything. We are together, right? Thank you. Now, we're also saying that one of the characteristics is what? Goal accomplishment. You see, the reason why you call me at midnight as a member of this class is because you want to pass your exams. True or yes? Yes. Somehow, when have you ever called me asking me about my health? It's not about my health, but because you want to know what is coming in the exams. True or yes? Goal accomplishment. In order for us to achieve what we are all here for, it is the reason why we care for each other. If we achieve what we want, if you throw a frog behind the wall, do you follow to see how it landed? Because we have all achieved our certificate. True or yes? Yes. And we say that all organizations have what? Goals. You cannot marry only to give birth because your friends are giving birth. Have you ever told the husband? But they are going the 10th one, but we married before them. Did you consult with your husband and did you agree when you married the number of children you are supposed to have? You don't know. You just married and you are just waiting. Anytime you want to have a children. How many do you want to have? You don't know. How many rooms do you want in your house? You don't know. So therefore, your expenditure, your income can never meet your expenditure because you have no plan. True, yes.
Yes.
And because the yes is coming from two people, and I will tell you why. Don't worry, I will tell you why later. Then we say that organizational survival and adaptation to change are what? Important. Survival and adaptation to what? Change. I remember when I traveled to do my master's, was it PhD? Masters and PhD. When I started my PhD, I was invited to give a talk for fresh students who had just joined our university as international students. I know the perception out there is that, look, don't be deceived. Anywhere you go around the world, black people are not respected. It's a fact. We are not respected. We are seen as second-class human beings. It's a fact. Don't worry about certificate. If you are not respected, who cares about your papers? Then, in the delivery of my speech, in welcoming foreigners, one key point I mentioned and stated emphatically, which relates to why we are here, is adaptation to change. Some of us, you go into an organization, and the organization itself, whatever the certificate you have, you are the one who went for it. Because all the principles and basic introductory courses that you did are applicable in your life. And we're saying what's learning? Learning is a change in behavior, not the QM. It's a change in what? Behavior. Now, if you tell me what? I was also wrong for it. Yeah, I'm just matter is anything that occupies what? Space and has what? Waste. Space and has what? Waste. And then nature abhors what? Vacuum. Nature abhors what? Vacuum. So there is no empty space. Right? There is no what? Empty space. Now, you come to do a program only to end and you go back to live the way you started. And you might just those of you who don't understand that one. Somebody is doing something, you want to correct the person you tell, I forgot about it. That's how we live. But you had gone through to pay, to go through a program. You learn principles and what? Introductory what? Basics of all the rudiments, and then you go back to live. Do you know the reason why we chase girls? But you know. You don't know. I will teach you, don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'll manage. It's okay. Okay. Now we say that certain behaviors are necessary for survival and what? Adaptation. Certain behaviors. That in every family there is a need to have a meat smoker. Is it? You see, you are taking a literal meaning of my statement. In every family or society, there is a need to have a leader. Who is a leader? There is the need to have somebody in your family or an organization. It is that person who brings about what? Change. And we said we should what? Organization survive at what? Based on what? What? Change. If you want to continue to agree the same life, we can fail without realizing that fail. Why are you afraid? Why are you against it? If you rather agree that change is necessary and the constant for the survival of any organization, why are you against it? Why? If you agree. And then, in our basic introduction, we also state that that the only constant in life is what? Change. It's change. By the looking glass theory, which says that human beings only get to understand themselves through the reflection they get from the society. It is a society that tells you who you are. You can never know who you are. We know you better than you know yourself. Are you aware of it? Yes. Who told you you are black? So we said, you see, that's why the theory is called looking glass what? Because you see yourself in your what? In a mirror. It's a reflection of who you are. So the way you see yourself in the mirror is the same way we tell you who you are. You cannot tell yourself who you are. You don't know who you are. So when you dress in a particular way and then the guy tells you that, wow, because he can see. Well, that you are a worshiper, agree. When we tell you that you are a thief, agree. You might be stealing and you will not know you are stealing. It's true. It's a fact. It's a fact. It's a fact. You will not agree with me, but you agree with me in the end. Don't worry. Then we also said, oh, but you know we steal a lot. Yes. But if you justify our stealing, because you don't know you are stealing. You understand? Yes. Innovation and flexibility are especially what? Important for what? Organizations. How can you wear the same shirt to office for? You have them plenty in your office. You have the same shirt. Thank you. You see, he's trying to justify why he's against change. I don't know where I get it. When people are against change, organizational change and innovation, you understand the topic. When people are against change, they have reasons why they are against it. True, yes. Yes. For everything, and that brings about the theory of what? The cost theory. For everything that you do, there's a reason. Right? Given the opportunity, madam, 90% of the ladies say you change your husbands. True, yes. But there was a reason why you married him. Why do you want to change? And you are wearing the same shirt, you don't have a reason to change. That means there's a problem. You understand? There's a problem. Okay. Now the last characteristic is group effort. We're saying organizations are based on what? Group effort. And there's a saying in the panel which says that what? Oh, who can remember that saying? I can't hear you. Thank you very much. Effort. You don't understand. No, speak English. One finger. One finger. Okay. Can we continue? Okay. So the interaction and coordination among people to accomplish what? Goals. The interaction and coordination among people to achieve what? Goals. You see, these days, what happens is that we assume a lot. We assume. And based on assumptions, and these assumptions are culminated from our own culture. Are you aware of it? Our culture, our upbringing. Don't worry, when we come to culture, we'll look at it. The much of the intellectual and physical work done in organization is performed by what? Groups. You have your idea, you think that you are the best. friendship, only for us to meet and then discussion, you realize that I got there. Forget about yours. People who do not interact with other people have little to do with. Are you aware of that? They don't know anything. And that is why the guy who had first class in your first degree, observe, they don't talk to anybody. Only for you to finish with first class and then you sit there with those who are third class who will come and give you job money. Yes. Because we interact. And when you interact, it promotes your relationship. Those of you who come for this program and then you sit, you go, you come, you sit. Program, you will be struggling to even identify, we will be telling you, you know that's the Director General of what's in your class? Because you don't interact. And what is your goal? Your goal of coming here is to be able to enhance your knowledge, get an certificate, to be able to get higher or get a job, because some of you here don't have jobs. The one you are even searching to give you your job is the one who was seated by you. But because you don't interact, you are still searching for him. You are still searching for him. How can your goal be accomplished when you don't interact? You don't interact. I remember when we were in WA, a lecturer who was doing a PhD at Tech needed somebody, a bank manager, to give him an introductory letter so that he could read data from the bank. But this lecturer was somebody who was sort of very strict. He never interacted with students. He would come to the class 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 closes. Then he came to us, especially he came to me as a friend, that if I could help him get a bank manager in town, in Tamale, so that he wanted to collect it. But in your class, there are bank managers, you don't know. There are bank managers in the class. So the following week, when we came to Tamale to teach, then when he started, I entered. Okay, Jonas, come. He came. Haruna, your lecturer wants assistance. Can you assist? That's the area manager for CBT. Haruna. He was in that class. I said, that you didn't know. How would you know? How would you know? You don't interact. You are too serious. We say that in the full of organizational behavior, which is the full or under management side, we're saying that and then you keep quiet. Now, come on, you guys. Anytime you remember how it happened, you start smiling and then you keep it back. Because you can't even explain it. And in sociology and psychology, if you don't like somebody, don't go closer to them. Are you aware of that? And that is why humanizers have said that they dress nicely every morning, they pass by the girl they like. The more I pass by you, the more you see me, the more you develop interest in me, whether you like it or yes. And that is why you look like your husband. Yes. You are too close to him. You end up by looking like his sister. It's the nature by which organizations work. Your boss likes you because every morning you come to greet him, whether he likes it or not, he will develop interest in working with you. But you feel so big. They didn't bring me here to greet him. We all have our skills. But you have forgotten that we all have our L1 and our L2, local language and what? Secondary language. In the same way we have our what? Our primary culture and our secondary what? Culture. We all come from a background. Now, what is the background of the African people? Respect. Respect. You remember Ubuntu? Ubuntu. You are because I am. You are because I am. And I am because you are. Ubuntu. That is African philosophy. You are an African and you don't want to behave like an African, but you are living in Africa. So you are living in an island. So therefore, you will never benefit from the organization. You can't. Because you can't live in an island within a word. Thank you very much. Any question? What is organizational behavior? What is organizational behavior? It is the little things that we do not understand and appreciate. That ends up by we being not able to balance our equations, debit and credit, right? So those of you doing accounting, understand why you are here. You will debit and credit, your figures are all right, but your boss is not happy with your work. You will not understand. The way you look at him, he's always angry. You need to learn how to look at people. Where does he come from? In their community, you don't look straight into people's eyes. But you don't want to understand that he's not of the same tribe with you. And that is why we call denigration. Looking down upon other. Who told you that your tribe is the best? And who even told you that you are a Dagoba? Your father said you are a Dagoba. Who told you that your father doesn't even know this tribe? Oh, you don't believe me? The tribe you think you are, if you dig deeper, you don't even relate to them. So therefore, research has proven that tribe is by choice. True or yes? Yes. You will not agree with me, don't worry. When we get to culture, you understand. Tribe is by what? Choice. It's by choice. I have so many people, even you sitting here, analyze yourself, and you get to understand that you are very proud that you are a Congo, right? When we dig deeper, you'll be surprised that you're from. Your father went there and started cultivating and married a wife, a Congo lady. Right? He never went back to his hometown. So you grew up speaking what? Speaking? No, we don't speak Congo. You are Africans. You are Northerners, but you have refused to understand that you live with other people who also need recognition. You don't even know that the people they call Konkomba speak different dialects. You don't know. You understand? You don't want to know anything about me, but you want me to know something about you. How will you go, madam? You see, and that's the reason why when we go after you, we dump you on the way. Yes. Because I spend on you, I come to your house, but you don't even know any of my family members. You don't care. Along the way, you think I'm a fool. I'll dump you. And that is the reason why there is conflict, confusion in our organizations. Our boss, we are always worshiping our boss. We salute him, we do everything for him, but he doesn't care about us. This is what we call hero worship. You think we like him? We are waiting for that day. We are waiting for that day. We study organizational behavior because it's interesting. You see, everybody's laughing. Have you observed that as I talk, everybody's laughing? It's interesting. It's what? It's important. But we don't see it to be important, but it's important. Why? Because it has an impact on managers and employees. And what? Consumer. Boy, whenever I hear the word consumer, I remember the Bukama and the Bumba. We have contents that are business code, and we have contents that are what? That are what? Postal code. You go to Kumasi, you meet a retentive people who want to say something to you. If I show who was signed, what? Right? And then you go to town, Tamale. How much? Yes. So this one is, it comes to investigative culture, not the what? The societal and what? Environmental culture for cohabitation. If you come to talk to me as a younger brother, you are looking directly into my eyes. It's disrespect. It's disrespect. It's based on the culture in which you live, for which you need to understand. Okay, so when we talk, it's important. You see, I'm sure you've been going through this, but you never took it serious. The reason why businesses don't strive enough is because of our culture. Our culture. It's because of our culture. Our culture is not business friendly. He is at home, you call him up. We need supplies, and we are already there. You are not. I give my son is full. How come? You understand? It's a culture. So we say that the state of organizational behavior is important. It's important. So that you know the people you are dealing with. You know the people. So you see, when you study organizational behavior, you make a difference. It affects the individual attitude, as well as the competitive and effectiveness of what? Organizations. Things you never thought was important. Now you value them, and it makes a difference. I, for one, people normally sometimes wonder what I'm a Christian or I'm a Muslim. I've attended church even more than some Christians. It doesn't change my faith. True or yes? It doesn't change my faith. There is nowhere in Ghana where a colleague will lose a family member, whether a Christian or Muslim, and I will not go. Why won't I go? He values that more than the money we give him. A friend from Sankardua who lost a mother, who is staying with you in Tamale here, and he's going to bury the mother, and then you just send him down the streets to go and bury the mother. It's worthless. By seeing my presence at Sankardua, he will, is what? No, don't worry. You see, you have a problem. You see? Don't worry. The problem they have is that they want me to be like them. You see? You have not accepted that we are not safe. Don't worry, so don't worry, I'll be mentioning a lot of words intentionally. You are doing my attention, but then I do it intentionally because of the course I'm teaching. You need to accept me. You need to accept me and understand that we are not what? The same. And that allows us to live in what? You get it? Okay, so let me give you a small test. They said we'll give you surprise quiz, right? You're not writing anything. Don't write anything. Just 2 minutes. Now consider whether the following statements is there brings us to what we just do. Whether the following statements are true or false. Don't write. Okay. Assume that there's a statement like effective leaders tend to possess what? Identical personality traits. People who are effective in leadership, they behave the same way. Do you agree? Yes. Do you agree?
Yes.
Do you agree?
Yes.
Now, all workers prefer stimulating, challenging jobs. All workers, they want something that challenges them. So you see, some will say yeah, some will say what. But for every answer you give, you have your reason. Right? Okay. Now look at it in the opposite. Now, common sense develops through unsystematic and incomplete experiences with what? Organizational behavior. Do you agree? Yes. Don't worry. Management practice should be based on informed opinion and systematic statement.
Yes.
You agree?
Yes.
Okay. Now, no, don't worry. I'm intentional with you. Now, the question is, why do you choose that answer? You made your choice. Why? You have your reason. There was a question, some agreed, some did not agree. And you both had your reasons. Right?
Yes.
You both had reasons. So why is it that when we are together in an organization, I cannot disagree with management decision? Not that. Why can't I agree? You feel like you are an employee. Why can't I disagree?
Because there are rules and regulations.
And the rules and regulations says I cannot disagree with management. No. There's no rule that in any organization. There's no rule in any organization that says an employee cannot disagree with management. There's no rule. You see, I'm drawing your attention to why some organizations fail because of the lack of acceptance of divergent views. They want us to all think the same way, and in an organization where we don't have divergent views, that organization is bound to what? Fail. You understand? Oh, darling, we go to Oasis, and I said, no, I cannot go to Oasis. Let's go to Fatal Bicycle. And then the conclusion is that you don't love me. Oh, yes. Why can't I also suggest an alternative way? I don't know where you get it. Why can't I? You must, but I can't. Who pays? As management, you are giving us instructions, but we have no suggestions. Who is working? Who is working? We are on the full working. You are the top giving us instructions, but we cannot tell you the reality. Will operations go well? No. Not at all. Okay. What is management? What is management? Don't worry. And those are people, you will give me wonderful ideas. What is management? Don't think foul. OB is bringing all of you together at a very plain level in economics we call what? saturus parabus, all things God equal. So don't think beyond the equality. What is management? Yes, everyone. Thank you. Management is simply getting people to do what you want. As a manager, management is only getting the people under you to do what you. If you are not able to get them to do what you want, and what do you want to achieve organizational what? Goal. If you cannot get them to do what you want, it means that you are not a manager. You cannot manage. When you go to complain to your bosses that I hear that a lot in UTS, especially the cleaners, in the laborers. You go to their supervisor to ask them, why is it that the washroom and this place? I told them and they are not listening. And I just wish one day I get the power, I'll fire all of them. But you know me. I'll fire all of them and I don't care. We all did the streets. If you are afraid to tell people the right thing, you cannot manage. Yeah. You cannot manage when you always go by what other people think you will be. Don't be worried about what people think about you. Be worried about achieving your what? Your goal. And that is why we are where we are. I visit you in your home and then the cooking pot is on your bed. Because you don't want to complain. Your wife will say that you don't love her. So when I call you that I'm coming to your house, so I'm not at home. But you don't want me to come and see what is happening. It means you have already accepted that you are a failure. You are a failure. You cannot stand by the sense of God. So we're saying that if behavior can be predicted and explained, it can often be what? Managed. If behavior can be predicted and what? Explained, it can be managed. I'll give you a typical example. A friend gave me this story that he wanted to marry a second wife. You see, he could predict the reaction of the first wife and he can explain. Right? So he got home and told the wife, from today, we are divorced. Pack and go. Senator said, no. For 3 days, there was no interaction. Anytime Senator wanted to talk, Mama would say, Senator, I told you, we are not together again. Go home. So the 5th day, Senator packed the father's house. Then the father called the husband to ask him, what is the problem? Just tell us the problem. We understand your plan, but just tell us the problem. We said, all the imams and pastors who have been calling me, nobody ever asked about my concern, but they were only forcing me to accept it. Now you are talking, Dada. The problem is that, you see, I anticipated that you will resist my quest to bring in a second wife, and in order to succeed, allow her to go. Then Senator said, this one is a simple issue. You understand? Predicted her behavior, and then you come along with an explanation to be able to overcome her reaction. Senator was the one who led the delegation. Senator led the delegation. You understand? So we say that prediction and explanation involves analysis. Because if he had not done his analysis very well, you will not be able to come out with a strategy to be able to overcome the reaction. You know, the easiest way our wives get us very easily, that penetrates our skin to our bone and the heart, is silence. True or yes? That's all men. When you come home and you greet them, You are only pretending. Only men. This is the easiest way to get a man. Very easy. Then we say that effective management involves evidence-based what? Management. As a manager, don't take action until you have evidence. As a manager, don't take action until you have what? Evidence. So as a landlord, when you come home and your TV is on the ground, the one who did it is the one who is the first person to complain to you. If you don't take time because it's expensive, you start beating. And you might be wrong. You take action when you have what? Evidence. People who are always guilty are the ones to complain. And the government will say, who said ABU? We're not in ABU same class. That's the nature of the force. And then the government service say, the one who does the wrong is the one who is always eavesdropping to see what they are talking about. You understand? So, as a manager, you should take action based on evidence, not hearsay. Don't worry, when we get to communication, we're talking about a word, grapevine. You know, you like it. Not you, I'm talking about it. You know, we like it. Okay. Any questions so far? I'm going to jump. We're in the master's class. Any question? No questions so far? Yeah, boss. No. But why do you mention dog before you talk? So I'm bringing your mind to something. You see, in management, it's like purely in a psychological class. There is something that happened to you which you did not take notice of. Observe, boss. Have you observed something in your area? When people see you, the first thing they do is that they mention your name before they greet you. What have you observed? When they see you, the first thing they will mention your name before they greet you. It's very wrong. Yes. Very wrong. But how are you Ghanaian? You are an African. No, wait. You are Ghanaian and you are an African. What is the first point of communication? It's disrespect. When people do not see hierarchy in society, that is how they behave. And you cannot take away hierarchy in society. You can't. As part of our tradition and as part of our culture, whether you like it or not, we are in hierarchies. The mere fact that I'm 1 year older than you simply gives me an edge over you. Are you aware of that? Age is an advantage. Can you call your elder brother by his name from where you are coming from? So why is it that this man is older than your elder brother, but you can call him? I don't know whether you understand. And that is the degradation in our society. That's leading to something else. We'll get the whole thing. Yes. You are telling our culture upside down. You are bringing confusion. When you greet, who are you greeting? Everybody around. So it brings your attention. Then you now pronounce his name. You're not being specific. Now, those of you who are teachers, yes. Then why do you mention my name again? Why do you mention my name? I'm alone, and you are mentioning my name. Why? Did I tell you I don't know my name? Now, let me tell you something. Those of us who are teachers, there is, how do we ask questions in class? If you go to class and you want to ask a question, do you pronounce the question before mentioning the name of the student, or you mention the name of the student before you pronounce the question? No culture supports that idea. So it gets to an extent, even we are now there, when they mention your name, they don't greet again. Start off. Have you observed? We are not at that stage. We are not at that stage where the yes. I'm saying you should greet first before any other thing. I'm not saying you should not. So, for example, good morning, Professor Elias. I don't know what I get it. But I say Professor Elias, it's as if you are higher than him. See? He is admitted. By that statement, that alone, I'm bringing your attention to something. And that is the reason why, no matter how good you are in your organization, there is an enmity that you bring to yourself without your notice because of your actions. Nobody will ever correct you. But in me, I know very well you don't respect me. And I hate you, and I'm waiting for the day that I'll take you on. When your file gets to my clinic, you get missing. Oh, yeah, because you don't respect. Yes. Not my culture, it's an African culture. It's an African culture for which every African abides by respect. You see the problem. You see the problem. We have been fine-tuned and confused with European culture, for which we cannot distinguish between European culture and African culture. Are you aware of that? Yes. Let me tell you something. I don't want to, you see, okay, we are doing introduction, so we can go over. But when we come to the specifics, let me draw your attention to something. Are you aware there is no Muslim, there is no Christian? We are all African traditionalists. Are you aware of it? There is no Muslim or Christian in Africa. No, we're only deceiving ourselves. Take it easy, we're in an academic class. It's not personal. Please, we are in an academic class. Don't take it personal. Academics, that's why I can stand here and insult the president. Nobody can take it. The Constitution says in an academic podium, you are immune if I can adduce evidence. So let me give you my evidence. I'll give you my evidence. Nobody can take me to court. Research has proven the reason why we say Islam and Christianity are only associations of convenience. They are only associations of what? Convenience. Why, my dear? When you go back to your village, simple. Let me give you an example. Madam, you are just before me. That's why I use you as an example. If you are my wife, and then, oh, pastor says we have to do this. Pastor says we have to do this. Then you, what she's demanding, you check it against your income. I forget. I haven't forgotten about it. Throw yes. When it does not favor you, you come back to your culture. When it favors you, you jump to the religion. It's an association of convenience. It's an association. Tell me, in this class, who can tell me that for the last 1 year, you have never practiced any traditional acts in your life? In our mind. Nobody. We are all traditionalists. Convenience, say. Yeah, it's a fact. We're all Africans. You understand? We're all Africans. Just that convenience is not to associations. You understand? And that is why we say never get into trouble with your colleague African because of an association. Don't do that. Okay? So let's continue. Please. Have a pause. Okay. Oh, faster. Okay. Now we're talking about management. We are all assumed to be managers. What do managers do? Are you aware the first organization we belong to before we get into our employment organization is the family? The family is the first organization. And all other persons within the organization are all employees. Are you aware? Now, the household head is the what? Is the manager. Who is the household head? The one who provides for the family. It can be the woman or the man. I know a brother is the one who provides. So when they come to sell yam or the yam seller is in. It's the man who is going to call the wife. So who is now the head? The wife. You understand? You don't agree? Now, let me give you a typical example. You remember the housing and population census? Many of you participated. What was the definition of household head? You remember? They say you don't agree. You don't agree. Yes. Oh, sorry. Yes. We all depend on you. No, you are getting me wrong. If your father is still there and you are a son and you are the caretaker, what do? You don't you give it to your father to do it. So it's your father who is doing it. You are getting me wrong. Okay. Eh? Oh. Basic means. No. We have, you see, primary, basically, the primary means. Now, when you go to the other ones, it's no more basic. You are now in the secondary edition. So in the second edition, that's luxury. Shelter, food, and clothing. Who provides? The person who provides is the family head. Now, if you are looking for a bicycle, it's not basic. I don't know where you get it. So, who provided the roof? Your mother. Now, who is feeding you? Now, who is paying your fees? Who is giving you money to buy clothing? That's the mistake people make. So, we the men. If you go home and you want to give somebody, give it to the children direct. Sure. Don't give it to your wife to give to them. You become irrelevant in the family. You become irrelevant. The children only know the mother, they don't know you. So when there is competition, the wife will tell them that you are not what necessary. Hello? No. Please. It's almost time. Please, let me finish. Okay. Yes, please. Please. Yes. It becomes the mother. Definitely. Yes. So therefore, that is another level. There is what we call, no, that's another level. Another level. If we have a close relationship, our way of greeting is no more formal. So that type of greeting that I was explaining to you is not formal. What I was explaining to you was a formal greeting. There is no personal relationship. Yours, it involves personal relationship. You understand? Good. Yes. Yeah? I would. You know, not everybody has a loud voice like you. Justify. You see, hello. He is asking based on the definition and explanation. You know, most I don't define explanations. Does that justify the bossy nature of some managers? You see, there are so many reasons some managers are boss. One, Some are bossy because it is a defensive mechanism. When people don't know, it's when they don't want others to ask. It's a defensive mechanism. When I move with a lady and I suspect that maybe your friends saw me, then I come home and say, hey, how are you? It's a defensive mechanism. You understand? So some bosses or managers are bossy because they only have to protect their head. So sometimes you see your boss shouting, it's not because he likes shouting, he's hiding something. Yes, he's trying to hide something. If you come closer, you have to ask so many questions, you disgrace him, so he will not even give you the. Yes, boss. That's just one. Okay. The most emphasis that is placed on one sheep. One sheep. And one sheep simply means relationship. And that is why bribery is a crime. Bribery, observe, if you are aware with Chinese, bribery is not a crime. Have you observed it? It's not a crime. It's only when you are caught. You remember if you have studied physical education. Let me tell you a secret. And that is why Americans are finding it very difficult to deal with Chinese. They can easily bribe their way. They bribe. Bribery is number one in their business. And they call it guanxi, relationship. And if you study PE, you remember when we were in secondary school, we did physical education. The history of physical education, you remember Baron Pierre de Coubertin, the origin of sports. In olden day Greece, everybody was what? Given the opportunity to do what you want, provided you were not caught. They practice it, and they are achieving. And then they have a philosophy, which is the Confucian philosophy, which says that some people are born to live. Others who are not born to live concentrate on how you make money to survive. That's their philosophy. I don't know what you're getting. That's the Chinese philosophy. So, if I'm not born to live, I concentrate on how I make my money. You understand? And then you add it up with their business philosophy, which is called the win-win situation. In everything that we do, we must succeed. Failure is not part of their culture. And to add it, they say cost-effective measures of success. How do you reduce costs and succeed? You understand? And all boils down to their culture. In Chinese culture, respect is key. You cannot challenge your boss. It can never happen. You can't try it. It's one of their significant success. They follow authority. So the first thing when you appear, when they employ you, you only report your success. Failure is not part of their business. Yeah, you can't report failure because they can't dream of it. But here, we give you fertilizer, seeds to go and farm, and then you go and harvest and then burn the grass. And tell us that, oh, there was a disaster. In China, you cannot try it. Because you should have predicted and analyze and to anticipate and find mechanisms of protecting the fire. So if you cannot think about that, you cannot anticipate, it means you are a failure, you will be punished. I don't know what I get it. They have a lot. But you see here, we live in a laissez-faire institution where everybody does what you want. The rules are not working. In China, you can't try it. And their rules and regulations are very different from ours. And that is why you see the Galamsey. Do you know how they do it? They bribe their way through. Because philosophy they have is that any way you can make your money, come on, use your brain. And when it comes, the government will defend you. That's what they are doing. I don't know where I get it. But don't worry, we'll get there. Now let me finish with this one. We said that managers have a role to play, right? So our concern is what you are supposed to do. What is your function as a manager? You cannot be a manager. You don't know where your staff they sleep. You don't care whether they are well or they are not well. What you only know is that you are in the office and you are working. There will not be productivity, right? So as a manager, you have a lot of roles to play. Now, you play the role of interpersonal what? Leader, information, and decision maker, right? Interpersonal. How many of you who are managers here will come to the office and then go from one desk to the other desk to talk to people individually before you get to your office? You are Abiba. Attend to this report. You're on your way to your office and you're already giving directions. Command. Interpersonal. You need to develop some kind of personal relationship with your staff. Even when you are not there, they feel your absence. Not when you announce that tomorrow I'll be traveling. So what is this? As a manager, you should be a source of information. How many of you will get to hear that you have a meeting at 5 o'clock from the security man? You are there's a meeting, you are not aware of it. You only get to hear it from people who are not part of that meeting. And then you ask yourself whether you are recognized in the organization. As the manager, there is this power I possess that others will what? Respect me because of my closeness with you. And they can easily leak your information. And that information that they leak derails your power and your influence over your employees. But sometimes in the organization, we chase you girls not because we love you. Don't think that a manager dating you means that he loves you. No, you are wrong. Sometimes managers date employees because they want information. You are not aware. To break through the grapevine, you must get a beautiful lady or any lady in the organization. Give you any other information in the organization. Oh, we are doing behavior, right? No, don't worry. Until we are getting to the, I'm just around. You are spy. Yes. Definitely. And pay, but that's also. So you see, we have received power, resource, information power. So my question to you You must resolve it. You can't run away from it. And then you have to allocate resources. You buy chair for this one, you don't buy chair for this one. It's going to affect productivity. You paint his office green and paint mine white to affect productivity. Are you aware? If you are painting white, it must all white. If you are buying chair one, everybody's chair must be white. Or else it's going to affect productivity. They will not talk, but they will respond in different ways. Then, negotiator. Everybody must see you as a unifier, as a manager. Not that, hey, your name, so I want to say, eh? Nani. Oh, it's very nice, handsome, and is it big swap? Nani. Nani, can we go for lunch? Memuna is angry. Because today he went out with Nani, and Nani. What about Memuna? You see, your desire is influencing your action, which is why having an influence on your relationship with the others. You understand? Yes. So if you go out with Nani today for lunch, Memuna should also go. And that is why if you're a very good manager, you can date 10 girls and they will never know you are dating them. Everybody is your friend. Oh, it's true. It's very true. If you are my wife and I'm going out, I'll tell you where I'm going. I'm going to my friends. Every day, you know I'm with my friends. If I'm leaving there, I'll call and tell you where I'm going. Every day where I'm going, I'll tell you. So now if somebody comes to tell you that they met me at the hotel, they're like, you will not believe it. You will not believe it. So that's why we say as a manager, if you want people to trust you, your employees to trust you, be easy going information to them because they need the information to act. Your assumption and presumption that when you keep information, it gives you power. You are wrong. It is only information that is not released that you keep. But those that are supposed to be released, let them have it. Let them have it. But I cannot tell you how much I gain. As a marriage, I can't tell you. But if you tell your wife how much you gain, what is the problem? Yes, I ask a question, what's the problem? Yes. What does it mean? We're so close at trusted. No, I started please. Started like 2 minutes. No, 30 minutes. No, I started 11. I was supposed to start 10:30. 10:30, okay. So I'm still there. Yes. Don't worry, you are done. Nobody you see the talk. At least, please, this class, nobody should stand up and talk. You are big people. Don't worry. It's only undergraduates, even undergraduates, who don't even allow them to stand up and talk. Okay? Wait, these men don't stand up and talk.
Yeah, so our but I know at the end of the policy, for us to implement.
Not everything can be implemented, so depending on your situation.
Yes, so I looked at them. Well, asked the school about the way of yeah, it's going to be challenging because but I feel like sometimes we let classes or let it from them. And when we like to apply our different, especially in African, some of it they can do the course or the manager even do so because whether we should talk at night and listening to some cases that people are handling. We see that they normally prefer even in Ghana here. somebody outside it. Because of really this place or this organization for them. Rather than something that is here for people, better over there. Everything of them will speak for something that does not really reality. But we are keeping people that are here of here. Let's see. So I don't know how, because we are learning like out to make
You see, that's why we believe that we have a long way to go. And it starts from you. And it starts from what? Me. You see, colonialism has a very big effect on Africans. It's only the Arabs. They have been able to make a very significant inroads. You see, one of the difficulties we Black Africans face is our educational system, our curriculum. Have you observed that? In our curriculum, we place much less emphasis on our culture. Are you aware? Eh?
Yeah.
We place less emphasis on our culture, and that's where we have failed. And that is why you see that in some of our graduate studies, we try more because at this level, it's assumed everybody's mature. And that is why we try to teach more of culture. You understand? But at the lower level, you and I do not control it. It's controlled by the central government. What you teach is controlled over there. And then the Europeans or the Westerners, they influence what we teach in our basis. They don't want us to teach our people our culture. Because when we teach them our culture, they become irrelevant. That is the struggle we are going through. And that is what we call neo-colonialism. We are still colonized. Whether you like it or yes, we are still under colonialism. Even what we teach our children is dictated by somebody. Can you see that every now and then, every government comes, they change syllabus because they have received funding. And if you need the money, they will tell you what they will do. I don't know what I get it. But at the tertiary level, we determine what we teach. Nobody can tell me what to teach. I will determine what I teach based on the standards. So we have a long way to go. So from now, at this level, when you go home, don't let anybody deceive you that your culture is bad. The Chinese succeeded when they realized that all what they implemented was not in their interest. I will give you a video in one of our lectures to watch. By one of Chinese American scholars. He did a presentation and he spoke about this. That when the Americans or the West sold democracy to them, they bought it, but it didn't work. They realized that democracy was not good for them. They went back to their own methods and started using their own tradition to rule themselves. And they succeeded. The Russians are making it because they use their culture. What language do you speak?
I speak.
What language do I speak? What language do you speak? And what language are we speaking? That's the problem. Because what I want to tell you, when I use English, the meaning is diluted. I have to do it in the description of the originator of the language. I don't know what you understand. So for every interpretation, it must go in line with the originator of the language we are using. But everything that we are doing must be in conformity with their culture, not our culture. That's the disservice. I don't know whether you understand. You see, the success and failure of every society or organization is your culture. I'll give a typical example. Now, you see KFC. KFC has been able to succeed throughout the world because of the culture they do. When you go to America, there are some KFC spots, they sell pork. Are you aware? In Tamale, they don't sell pork. It's the same KFC. If you go to America, you go to China, you go to Egypt, you go to where in Dubai, KFC, when you see the shop, you think that you are in Tamale. If you go to America, when you see the shop, you think you are in China. It's the same. But when you go in the many varies.
Yeah.
Because they inculcate the culture where the shop is located. When you go to India, they don't sell beef. Because Indians don't eat beef. I don't know whether you understand. When you come to Tamale, they don't sell pork. Because they inculcate the culture of the people. And that is where their success model came. What is your success model? You remember when I was having an interaction with my brother, he was forcing me to accept something which he has forgotten. It's a Western culture. Where you mention people's name when you see them first. It's a Western culture. It's a Western culture. But you see, we have forgotten and we have imbibed it, and then we tend to believe that it's normal. Because we have forgotten our own culture. In my office, if you have some people, there are some people at the back, they know me very well. I mean, when you come to my office as a student, you don't greet me. You speak for 10 minutes, I won't mind. No matter who you are, I will not respond. Unless you greet me first, I won't respond. Then when you do the right thing, I will not tell you your mistake. Because I'm an educator. I'm an academic. I'm here to train. I'm not here to accept wrong things. If I cannot tell you in my office, where will I tell you the right thing? You understand? So that's why we're saying that if we cannot stand, you remember I said somewhere earlier, that if we cannot stand up to our employees and tell them that what you are doing is wrong, it means it's an acceptance of failure as managers. It's an acceptance of what? Failure. You remember we learned culture back home, our secondary school days. We were taught cultural shock, cultural universality. You remember? You go to some people's culture, you see them eating snakes. Mm-hmm. I come to your house, you are eating dog. Should I also do Very basic. Very basic. If I'm eating snakes and it's bad, what about you eating dog? I don't know where you get it. Oh, in China, I don't eat pork because I'm a Muslim, but I ate pork in China. There was nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong. Ask me why. You see, you didn't even ask my situation. You are already pretty judgment. And that is the reason why we fail in our organization. Pre-judgment. I dress in a certain manner, I enter. There is a topic between where I will ask the question, do clothing talk? Do clothing communicate? Yes. And the reason why men are calling is because of the way you dress. Because you are talking to us, and we will respond. Yes, madam. No, you don't start talking. When you greet me, you follow the order, and the order is determined by the occupant of the office. What was I doing when you entered? So you don't stop me to attend to you. Maybe somebody was there before you. I was attending to somebody on phone. So you wait before I attend to you. But you see a lot of, especially the students, they enter the office and they start talking. You know me, there is nobody I cannot talk to. You know my nature. No matter who you are, I'll tell you. I will walk a student out. They will go out and come and apologize. You have to do the right thing. If you don't learn how to do the right thing in an institution, where will you learn it? It will never happen. You understand? Do clothing communicate? Yes. Don't worry, it will be a question in your final exams. Wow. Yes. Wow. If I forget, remind me. Yes. Eh? I can't hear you. Oh, you know, you see, there is one significant thing that is peculiar of managers and leaders. A leader is always successful, or you know, there's a difference between leaders and managers. Now, I'll use them interchangeably for a reason. They are always successful because a leader or a manager is supposed to be above your employees. You should know better than them. If your employee or subordinates more than you are in trouble. You are in trouble. And that is why I don't listen to sermons by pastors and imams. Because those who are preaching, they don't even know what they are preaching. I don't. They don't know what they are preaching, not they do in practice. They don't know. If you listen to them very well with a critical, analytical mindset, you understand that they are doing it because of what? Income. They are not there for us. Don't worry. The reason being that, boss, if you go to the scripture, are you aware in the Quran, it is stated that when you are in distress and the only thing available which is pork, you can eat. So why did I say I ate pork and you are worried? Why you want? So if you know this is available in your scripture, if I say I have eaten pork, relate it to that one. Don't be asking for other reasons. Yes.
As a training manager in an organization, life is right. If management takes a decision that I feel strong, but it will affect my income, life is right requires.
Quiet for which reason?
I know that
it will affect your income. They are taking a decision. You must go and then challenge it.
Their decision is wrong. But if I make
you cannot also say their decision is wrong. You see, you are also wrong. When a decision is taken and it is affecting your income, you cannot conclude the decision is wrong until it is proven to be wrong. We said managers do not take decisions when they don't have the facts. Don't worry, we are still on, madam.
But what I'm saying is, management says that this table is my office. And I know that once I'll get back to
so you have to explain with evidence.
Yes. But by doing that, management know that, oh, if I explain that, they are going to pay
extra cost to make you comfortable. But they don't want to.
They don't want to.
How do you know they don't want to? Do you know the balance of the It's an assumption. You see, we say that management do not take decisions when you don't have what? Facts. Let me give a typical example in my office just now. Last week I was when I was leaving, my AC was not working. It's been having problems severally. You know, the ACs we are using here were ACs which were installed when UDS was established. Over 30 years ago, we're still using it. So I spend a lot of money, sometimes with my own personal money, because for me, I'm a person who is described as quick action. I want things done very fast. So if I'm going to apply it to take time and I'll be sitting in this heat, I'll use my money and do it, but I'm going to enjoy it. So I repair my own AC until now that it cannot be repaired. The advice was that we should replace it. So management is saying that buying 2.5 AC at the moment, the balance in the account, they can't buy, but they can get 1.5 from me. I did not challenge it. Yesterday, they came and installed the 1.5. Immediately, I need it. Now, the issue is, will the 1.5 be okay for my office? I don't know. I don't challenge whether they have money or they don't have. That's what they are telling me. I believe it. Now, will the 1.5 be okay? That's another story. Now, when it is not okay, I invite one of them to come and sit with me. You prove it with evidence. Now, when they sit with me, I invite them to discuss an issue in my office, and I'll delay him for 1 hour. Is that not evident? When he himself starts complaining, then we start from there. Do you understand? But if it is okay, why will you complain? So you have to prove beyond reasonable doubt that what they bought for you is not conducive, and then they will also reason beyond the box to comply with you. But you see, the problem we have with employers and employees are all based on assumptions. Assumptions. You are assuming because I have hair, I love hair. True or yes? And then for Adoma, if you had seen the way he had the girl, I'm sure this man is dating that girl. Look, you have to do something. Even if you are complaining to my wife and my wife is not doing anything, I will tell her, you have to do something. Yes. Last one. Let's look at this one and then we'll close. Diversity. I repeatedly mentioned diversity. You see, we are all becoming international managers. Because whether you like it or yes, many of us have traveled abroad and many of us are working with international people. These people from diverse backgrounds, either from this country, from different locations, whether you like it or yes. Okay. Now the issue is what we call global somebody said global village. The world is now becoming a what? You sit here, you things from China. You sit here, you order things from America, right? You sit here and you do business with any other person. Now, remember, you school in Kumasi, in the Bumba board. For 3 good years in secondary school in Kumasi, you cannot speak. Your parents will pay you. Fast what? You see, no, you are not sending to fast what. That's where we got it from. And that is why, my brother, you see why there is no change. And that we all go by the syllabus. And because they realize that we all go by the syllabus, the Westerners target our syllabus and they are able to achieve their aim. You pay fees because you don't want the student to pass WASSCE. But the other things, which are 90% of the learning process, we don't pay attention to. Passing WASSCE is just 10% of our educational requirements. Yes, it's 10%. Madam, it's 10%. What you are supposed to imbibe into yourself to become a totally rehabilitated animal is not in the syllabus. It's not there. Who will come to the class to teach you how to dress? All our children, when they go to secondary school and they come back, they learn how to dress. True or yes? Is that in the syllabus? They learn how to iron. Is that in the syllabus? Is that in the syllabus? Thank you. Now, you have decided that because you don't want to learn, you stay in Kumasi for 3 years and you come back and you can't speak. Because you have not accepted diversity. You have not accepted the people. Please, madam, close the door. I beg you. Please ask yourself questions. Some of you have stayed in Tamale for 5 to 10 years. You can't speak the band. Please ask yourself, are you doing yourself a disservice? Or you are just an animal in utopia? You can't speak the Bani. 5 years in Tamale. I stayed in China for 7 years. But I didn't stay exactly 7 years because I used to travel. So it take about 2 years out. No. Yeah, about 2 years travel. Now, I speak Chinese. Yeah, I speak Chinese. Why? Because if you accept diversity, you can't tell me that you respect me. You stay with me for 5 years and you don't understand my language. In Tamale, it means that you don't accept me. Yes, boss. We call it social stratification. Because it's a payback. Yeah. Yeah. So we cannot really say there. Because you see, the issue is that You remember I mentioned a word, denigration. You don't learn my language because you look down upon mine. That's a problem. So it continues. Definitely. It's part of our culture. No, no, I will not get it. Thank you very much. That's denigration. Let me give you a typical example. I'm sure yesterday, you remember I was wearing a Lacoste. This morning, when I was coming in, I asked some students here to give me way to pass. They didn't mind me. Yesterday, this morning, yes. I had to struggle to get my way because they didn't recognize me. Must you know a person before you respect? That's the problem. That's denigration. People look superior even when they don't even understand who they are. Assumptions. Who told you your tribe is bigger than my tribe? Who told you? Who told you? So you see, we're saying that the global workforce is becoming increasingly culturally wide. Yes. Diverse. Somebody was insulting the woman, and I was just with him because he thought I was an Ashanti man. Look at my appearance. He thought I was an Ashanti man. Then he was just insulting the woman. They don't know how to be. They don't know how to love. Blah blah. A lady. They don't know love. Blah, blah, blah. Madam, I heard Onoba Haruna is Itagomba. No, he's not Itagomba. He's a Gaman. Because you like him. So you change his pride. You see, so these are the things we're talking about. I had a friend, many organizations have not treated certain segments of the population fairly. In many aspects of what? Employment. And the story I want to tell is related to this one. This our friend went for an interview at the US Embassy for US aid job, top job. He just returned from America. Then one of the panelists was a Dagomba man. And it will be very hard to know he's a Dagomba man. Because he had lived in Accra for decades. He was one of the top big men in the embassy. So, and this guy was from Yendi with the Dagomba marks. So when he entered the panel, the interview, he was offered a seat. The man could sense that this was a Dagomba board. So in his introduction and interaction, the man spoke the banner to him and he replied. And he told him that I'll bring your appointment letter.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, there were people with PhD who applied for the job, and this guy came with masters. He was given the appointment. Other people are not treated fair.
Wow.
They're not treated fair. It cannot be the era. It cannot be the era. And it cannot continue. You are on top of issues and you are controlling it in your favor does not mean you continue to care. Must we treat your children the same way? Think about it. Should we continue to, if you do that, you leave. Please, don't go far. Don't go far. Cast your minds back. Rollins was the head of state doing everything he wanted.
Yes.
The daughter is in parliament. She has no position.
Yes.
How do you feel for her? Should the people the father was mistreating, should not treat her back the same way? So think about it. The order cannot continue. Global business has increased, and so has the need to understand how workers and customers in other countries are diverse and culturally different. We are diverse and we are culturally different. You see, there is something in life in psychology that, you see, because we are greedy, and as we are greedy, we tend to forget the reality. If somebody brings money into this office, this class, and then we are supposed to share, observe something. If they are sharing, and then it gets to me, and I say, oh, come on, give it to them, give it to them. Forget about me. Everybody will look at you as somebody who is poor. But there's reality. The next time they bring other goodies, they are sharing, no, give it to them. Oh, God. Let them get to them. The next time they bring something, oh, come on, give it to them. Immediately they are looking for a leader in this, they don't want the reality. We all know the right thing, but just that we are being overshadowed by grief. We are overshadowed by what? Our grief. You go to a wedding. You go for a wedding reception. You came with a very nice car. You bought fuel, 500,000 in your car. And you still have over 10,000 in your wallet. And they are sharing food. You know very well that this guy, when he gives you, you get, but you are the best person they said, not you. Are you not greedy? Are you not greedy? You see how society is not fair. You are a greedy person. Food should be served to underprivileged first in any setting we find ourselves in. If you look around and you know very well that I can afford, when they are serving, allow those who cannot afford to serve first. No matter your status. And that is why, let me bring your attention to something. Our traditional rulers, that's the reason why they don't eat in public. Have you ever seen a traditional ruler eating in a dinner? No. Because he is there for all of you. So when he is there, you push will eat. When it is left, they bring it to him to eat. He will not eat in public. He is there to see you eat. But now our leaders, so that's why we say that we have gone back to inculcate our culture in our way of doing things in our organizations and business. Our businesses would have been successful. Our businesses would have been successful. But we are taking out our culture and we are imposing our greedy instincts, which is not helpful, right? So what does diversity have to do with organizational behavior? Okay. There are a lot of opportunities that goes with diversity, right? A lot. You remember when you were doing your first degree, bro? You remember? There was a lecturer who was too hard. And you didn't know how to go about this man. Then one day you realized that this guy was the same tribe mate with the lecturer. You all went to him. Can you talk to me? That's the advantages of diversity. Now the case in that class, nobody is related to him. What do you do? You are all in where? Hellfire. You understand? You can talk to him through somebody. But now if the somebody is not there, now somebody enters this class. Everybody will be seated there. Everybody will be seated there as if he's talking to us, students. But provided somebody, you see now in the banks, they now employ people with diverse background intentionally to be able to cater for what? Their customers. They now inculcate diversity in their employment rules and regulations. So when you come, you can be even the bad one, but provided you can speak Arabic, they will employ you. Because when the Arabs come, they want somebody who can interact with them. And that's your expertise, we employ you. Who can speak Chinese? So if you go to the head office of most of the banks, they have somebody who can speak Chinese, who can speak Arab, who can speak what? Hindu and French. Diversity. Will you learn it or not? Thank you. Now, if you go to work in Kumasi and you cannot speak truth, can you survive? Now you are in Tamale and you are forcing people to speak English. I don't know whether you understand. Yeah. Now, when they complain, you say they are difficult people. You are the difficult one. You are the difficult one. You can't come to my house and tell my children to learn your language and live in whose house? You understand? You live in whose house? So therefore, we must understand the tenets of diversity and then be able to live with each other very well. I think you can share with them. So I will stop here. I won't get to that time. So we'll meet next week and then we'll continue with socialization.